Hey guys, it's Sundown Rider here. This is going to be my chapter review to One Piece 885. It's Brule. Now this chapter I thought was actually a good chapter. You know, it's the same as usual with One Piece. It was a decent chapter. There wasn't anything really wrong with it. There were parts people didn't like, and I know they didn't like. I'm not sure whether that was the majority of people, whether that was just a few people, but I know there was a part and some parts that people didn't like. But I actually really enjoyed it. I thought, yay, that's alright, you know. So let's get into talking about it, and let's say exactly what I liked about it, and let's see if you guys agree. Let me know in the comments and everything like that. So first off, we see the cover story, which is Ideo and his crew have dropped anchor at an uninhabited island, kind of like a remote island, like somewhere you'd be marooned, almost like Jack Sparrow. I'll come on to that later, actually. But and they build it. They have to build a ship out of the parts of their last one. I assume their ship was kind of bust up, so they're building a new ship out of the remnants of the last one. So nothing big, but I think that something big is going to happen on the uninhabited island. Maybe they find out that someone rules it. Maybe a Yonko, maybe Blackbeard. Who knows? We'll have to see about that. But I think someone big time is going to be like in charge of that island. That island is part of their territory. We'll come on to that in the next couple chapters. We'll see what happens. And actually, I just want to make an honorable mention. I don't know who made that fan art on Manga Stream. But there's a fan art where all the Straw Hats are presented as members of the Big Mom Pirates, and it was awesome. Luffy's as Katakuri, Robin's is like I think she's a Smoothie, and you got Frankie as like is he as Daifuku? I don't know who you got Frankie as someone else. You got Chopper as that bring guy. So I was like, yo, this is pretty sick. That was really well done. And I really enjoyed it. I thought, yeah, that's pretty dope. Zoro's Cracker as well. That was really sick to see. So I really enjoyed that part. Actually, it was really nice. We come straight to the mirror world then, and we see Luffy versus Katakuri again. And I liked seeing Katakuri continue to outclass Luffy. You know, I didn't want this new chapter today, to just have Katakuri suddenly being outclassed. He's continuing kicking Luffy's ass, and his Busoshoku is stronger in the sense that his strength mochi is that form is his Busoshoku is more dense and more powerful than Luffy's Gear 4th Busoshoku Haki, which is cool. And then you couple this with the fact that Katakuri's Kenbun Shoku no Haki is back in play, and he completely outclasses Luffy in that specific department. He's dodging Luffy's attacks. He's foreseeing where they're gonna land, so he's able to parry them as well. And then he's hitting Luffy where he's not even covered in Busoshoku, so Luffy's getting hurt, and Luffy is really struggling to do anything at this moment in time. So then we get the next part of the chapter, which is Luffy realizing this, and then Katakuri kind of hinting to him because he foresees it with his Kenbun Shoku. He's like, "Hey, aren't you gonna run dry, boy?" And he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta go because I've only got like a few minutes left, a couple seconds left, even if you read the chapter, before my Gear 4th dies out, and then I'm 10 minutes out. I'm like out of play for 10 minutes." So Luffy retreats as he realizes his time limit is approaching. Should Katakuri have foreseen the actual running away? Like Luffy retreated, and Katakuri I think should have foreseen that he's gonna run away. I should prepare for that because he did foresee that Luffy was gonna run out of juice. So you know, who knows? But maybe he didn't see that far ahead. Maybe he just saw the juice running out, and then he didn't see that Luffy actually did one. So is the fact that Luffy ran away annoying? This is the part that I mentioned at the beginning of at the beginning of my review. People are complaining. A few people were complaining on Manga Stream that they didn't like the idea that Luffy is running away from this fight, and he's been running away a lot in this since the time skip, and he remembers that he can't actually fight someone, and he's like, oh shit, okay, I need to run away, I need to plan, I need to gather myself, I need to regroup a bit. So is this annoying for me? Do I like seeing Luffy run away? And the thing is, I don't actually think this is annoying at all. I don't mind it one bit. And like I said, I saw people complaining about Luffy running, but as Gum Gum Onigiri said on Manga Stream, Luffy is only embracing the oldest and noblest of pirate traditions. He must fight to run away. You know? He's got to fight to run away, and that's basically what he's doing right now. But in all seriousness, people need to realize that Luffy, and please don't comment too much on the butchering of that Jack Sparrow impersonation. Yeah, so people need to realize that Luffy has only trained his basic haki skills for 2 years, alright? So he's been polishing his basic haki skills for 2 years, and people like Katakuri and a lot of the people that Luffy is going to come into contact with from now on, so people like Kaido and Shanks and everyone in their crews, most likely people like Jack as well, most likely these guys will have utilized and trained their forms of haki and Busoshoku no Haki, Kenbun Shoku no Haki. They will have been using all forms of haki for a minimum of a decade at least. Jack is way older than Luffy, and all the freaking what's it called, the minks as well, the Inuarashi and Nekomamushi, they both probably could outclass Luffy in a straight fight as well. Just because they've utilized their haki for longer and they have more battle experience. They have a greater mastery over their devil fruits in terms of Jack, and especially Katakuri, who seems to have a huge mastery over his devil fruit. So in terms of just having greater haki and having used it for longer, having a greater control of their devil fruits and having more battle experience, no shit, Luffy's gonna have to run away at some points because he just doesn't have the assets to take him out in one shot. He can't do that anymore. Luffy has to fight intelligently, and he has to really fight in a scrappy way. He can't just take them out in one shot and just really take them out in one exchange. He needs to run away a bit, regroup, figure out what to do, and then come back. So I understand that you don't like Luffy running, but Luffy running is a great part of his growth, and it allows him to live. It allows him to live basically, and it shows he has a lot of room to grow into. So he's only going to get stronger by running. So it's something that a lot of people will be annoyed by, but I'm perfectly fine with it. Sometimes you gotta run to fight, you know. So the scene where Luffy then grabs onto Brule was hilarious. His smile when he sees Brule, like he looks in shock and she's looking back at him like, oh fuck, and he's just there like, hey, yeah, this is my time to shine, you know. So this is a really genuine tactic as well for Luffy to work up Katakuri, to really agitate Katakuri, because Katakuri has essentially been marooned in the mirror world and can't get out of it without Brule. Brule is like the key to the mirrors and all that, so he needs Brule to get out, and he's basically trapped in there, and he's like, shit, now I can't do anything. So this is bound to royally piss him off. Katakuri's I'm talking about Katakuri, yeah. So this is bound to really piss him off and provide Luffy with an opportunity to strike him again, you know, to when he's pissed off, he can't concentrate on his Kenbun Shoku no Haki, so Luffy might be able to get a few attacks in if he comes back in. Additionally, you can see how much concern and really agitation Katakuri has built up now that his sister was stolen in front of him. He's like, oh shit, Brule's gone, you know. So it's a really good way for Luffy to work him up. But I liked also seeing the concern in Katakuri's face, because he really didn't want for this to occur. So then Luffy and Brule pop out in the real world, in Nuts Town. Well, it was on Nuts Island, but somewhere on Nuts Island, and where Big Mom is basically going apeshit. She's just destroying this huge kind of nut thing, you know. So, and this is interesting because Luffy and Brule now have to evade Big Mom, Pero, and Amand, who's that lady with the huge sombrero looking thing, whilst recovering his haki. He's got 10 minutes where he needs to recover. And we got to see also a cool moment with Pero. I didn't really expect this from him. He seems like a slimy type of guy. He doesn't really care about his siblings, but he does actually seem to have some little like minuscule amount of care for his siblings when he tells Luffy to unhand his sister. I was like, yo, okay, Pero, that's cool. So maybe the Big Mom siblings aren't so bad after all. They're all crazy as shit, but at least they kind of care for each other within that craziness, you know. It's cool. And then I was really impressed by Amand, who tried to get a cheap shot on Luffy, you know, while he's trying to escape. She kind of just pops up behind him and she swings a sword, and I'm not even sure if it was haki imbued. I assume it was, just because being a swords lady or swordsman in the New World, you'd really anticipate that her sword was imbued with Buso Shoku no Haki. But it was really impressive. She just cut right through Pero's wall as if it was like butter or something. So she just slid right through it. And but she didn't anticipate that Luffy's Kenbun Shoku no Haki, which was obviously on display, was quite good, and he manages to escape. So now Luffy's just on the run from Amand, Pero, and Big Mom. Will he survive, and what will he do to escape him? I'll talk about that at the end of the chapter. So then we come to the Straw Hat crew. Nami and company are continuing towards Chocolate Town. Nami has essentially, it looks like she's killed Carrot, and she now wears her skin as an oversized jumper. So it looks cute, but I looked at it and I was like, what has she killed Carrot? Where the hell's Carrot gone? But I think you can also see that Carrot was shouting down from the bird's nest, just saying that everything's clear. So then we flash forward to Mondo and everyone is associated with him at this moment in time, and he's released a fleet of ships to go find the Straw Hats, the Fire Tank Pirates, and the Sun Pirates, because they've realized that the Sea Slugs have gone AWOL. Smoothie seems to be hesitant about this whole idea, and I have a feeling that she might have caught on to something, you know. So will she backtrack and then end up on Chocolate Town somehow? I don't know. But I don't think she's going to go out to sea with the rest of the fleet. I think she's going to stay back, and she's caught on to something, and she's going to do something like really surprising in the next few chapters. Who knows? Yeah, so that was it for really those two companies, the Straw Hat Crew and Smoothie and Mondor and all those. Then we come to the Sanji and company actually, and we see him baking the cake and everything. They're baking the cake. And that whole scene was okay, you know, the whole cake making scene. Sanji's secret weapon, we find out, is whipped cream. It's called Sim Sim Whip or something like that. And I actually enjoyed the parts of the chapter where it was like the cooks had to hold down the cake because it was so light and so aerated and fluffy that it was just floating off and they were holding it down. I was like, yo, that's pretty creative. And they needed to contain pudding's kind of ganache because of how silky it was and how silky smooth it was, and it couldn't really just contain, it was just sliding out. So exaggeration, 11 out of 10, good job. So then that was really the end of the chapter, and it turns out that Sanji and company are right on schedule, and they're preparing to finish the cake on board a ship while going towards Big Mom essentially. So they're going to be sailing away from Chocolate Town. So how is this going to play out in the next couple chapters? Well, we're on break next week. But I think in the next few chapters we're gonna have to see really how we already know that Luffy and Big Mom are on Nuts Island. Luffy's currently looking for a mirror back into the mirror world just to escape Big Mom, Amand, and Perospero. But Katakuri's in the mirror world, and I think Luffy should be fine with that. If he goes back into the mirror world, he can really select where he goes. As long as he's got Brule, so he won't pop out right in front of Katakuri, and Katakuri won't foresee it because he's pissed off at this moment in time. The Straw Hats and the Fire Tanks are also on their way to Chocolate Town. My laptop almost turned off there. I was like, what the... Yeah, but the Straw Hats and the Fire Tanks are on their way to Chocolate Town, so I think the fleet is going to completely miss them, the fleet of Big Mom pirates, and the Straw Hats and the Fire Tanks are going to straight just go to Chocolate Town. Sanji and Ko are on their way out, and somehow Perospero and Amon need to really direct Big Mom's back towards Chocolate Town because she's just pissed off and she's destroying like Nuts Island, and she needs to be directed towards her impending doom or her impending bliss, depending on which way you want to take it. But yeah, so that's basically where the next few chapters need to go. I'm not sure what Smoothie's going to do. She's kind of a wild card because I saw the ellipses on her and I was like, hey, she might be a bit hesitant about this, so we'll see how that goes down. But I thought this chapter was okay. I'll give it like an 8 out of 10. It was pretty good, 7.5 maybe. But yeah, a good chapter. Let me know what you guys thought. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in a bit.